Hey guys,
Coach.
how you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Pleasure.
All right. First episode of the Full Saints podcast. I'm joined by Devin Mans, Saintsman class 2026, and Coach Caragher. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
You excited to be here?
I'm excited to be here.
We got a few things we got on the agenda that we want to talk about.
Great, looking forward to it.
All right, awesome. We're in the desert.
So, okay.
One person from the teaching staff.
Well, I'd probably say. I can't
Okay,
figure
I'll tell you
it
mine.
out.
I'll tell you mine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Circle back.
Do you know who you would be?
Should I make a prediction for him? Who I think it would be?
Okay, I'll tell you who I would be. I'm going Granados.
Dude, that's a good pick.
He makes sense.
That's a very good.
I feel like was he a Boy Scout? I think Granados. I think Granados was a boy. Yeah, he was an Eagle Scout.
Okay.
He would know. He
know
would
his stuff.
he would protect me.
Does it have to be a teacher?
Yeah, teacher
Oh,
or
okay.
teacher. Anyone.
Yeah.
I think Greg Hecht.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I just feel like he's got that survival.
Yeah, 100%.
wisdom. So yeah, I could go on record with that.
Okay, I can understand why Mr. Eck.
I just think he just seems to have that, and so many do.
Yeah.
There's so many others would have that wisdom, but he just seems to have that survival instinct out there, and you're fighting for your life and finding water and you're finding shelter and all that. And I just think he seems to have that savvy
Yeah,
that you need
he's
to
got
survive.
that like he's got that like grit.
Yeah, the grit. I like that. Yeah.
What do you think?
Um.
There's so many.
There's so many options. Everyone has like their perks and then their pros and cons. I'd have to go Alcozer. I think.
Oh, why Alcozer?
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd just be so sick to be around him. Like he has such a good vibe.
You'd be having a good
like,
time. He's
Yeah.
definitely on the positive side.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Heck's always in the gym.
Yeah.
You'd see him in the gym.
Oh yeah.
Well, he stays in shape, and you need someone who's not just a city slicker, like can
Oh, yeah.
just, everything's so convenient, and but actually can rough it out
Yeah,
there
yeah.
in the wild, surviving.
I see
So-
Heck. I see Heck when we would be doing the cross lifts. Heck would be in there lifting.
Yeah.
I've seen you've been in.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see you
yeah.
always in the.
Yeah, I'll
he does
hit
something
it up.
interesting. When the football boys are lifting,
Yeah.
he's there like with them.
Yeah, I don't do it enough, but I
I've seen you in the
could do
electrical.
more, right? Always
Yeah.
should be doing more.
That's so because normally the coaches would just be down in their office, but I've always seen
Gotcha.
you.
Yeah, no, I like to be around the players when they work out. I think it's just an extra set of eyes
Yeah.
watching them, coaching in ways, good technique, but also just to be amongst them, let them see you out there while they're
Yeah.
working out. It's
Yeah,
important.
I heard you say in a PPR interview, one of your like kind of morals that you stand by is to lift them up.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what you're building around the team.
Yeah,
is
I
lifting
want a
everyone up.
team that will build each other up, and a coaching staff that builds one another up. And I think that just fits in with the Saints community about what we stand for. I think it's important. They asked me if, in few words, what's the most important message to the
Yeah.
team? I'd love one another, because if you do that, you're going to have a team that sacrifices for one another, a team that gives everything they have for one another, and a team that lays it on the line. And at the end of the day, when you do those things, how can you not say it was successful?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
may have fallen short on the scoreboard, but if you've given it everything you have as a coaching staff, as a competitor, that's really all you can ask.
Yeah.
I'll tie in something. I remember a definition of success by John Wood in my days at UCLA. And that definition of success, peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction and knowing you made the very best effort of which you are capable of.
I like
That's his definition. It's not defined in terms of monetary, maybe, or the scoreboard. Scoreboard's probably indicative of success,
Yeah.
but maybe not the final tally. I mean, you could play a team. If St. Augustine High School were to play the LA Chargers, right, and say we were to just compete, but they're all NFL guys, and we were lose, are we to feel like failures at the end of the game because we didn't beat them? Or did we give a valiant effort and give everything we had? And so that's how I break down
like that a lot.
success. Thank you.
Really good.
Yeah, I feel like I looked in. You played and coached at UCLA, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I was a quarterback there, and like a lot of quarterbacks or other athletes that go to that level, you were the kind of you one of the stars at your high school, your local high school, to try and say it and not in a humble way, right? You were good, and you go there and you feel that momentum's going to keep going. But when you're in that quarterback room and there's 5 other guys that were really good, and one of them was a Hall of Famer, Troy Aikman, who still is doing a great job announcing, but was a great college player, great pro player. That reality sets in, and the blessing in disguise, or the silver lining of that, was it began my coaching career, because I was on the sideline, and Coach Donahue, who passed a couple years back but was a great mentor in my life, said, "Hey, Ronnie, can you start charting coverages?"
Yeah.
And so I did start charting coverages during games, and that really parlayed into my coaching career.
Coaching.
Right.
Were you always kind of around the ball? Like, you played as a kid, right?
I did. So I grew up, I think my first level of competitive football was flag football, like in fourth grade, right? Yeah. And then, but did start playing youth Pop Warner type football. And funny story how I ended up at quarterback, because I was playing running back. I never would have gone to Division. Yeah, I never would have gone to running back in Division I with my speed or lack of it. And the coach saw, and our quarterback, the most talented athlete, kept forgetting the plays. He just kept forgetting the plays. And he and I are playing catch, and the coach comes over, Ernie Hill. I remember like how the impact coaches can make on your lives. And Ernie said, "Hey, Ronnie and Brian, I'm just going to try something. I'm going to switch you two. Ronnie, you play quarterback. Brian, you play tailback." I never looked back. I played quarterback from that day on, and it got my college paid for. So it was a pretty good move on his part, and then I'm thankful for it.
And so what, you played obviously the flag football, and then went on to play high school, and you were up north, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's right. And then high school you played QB, and then you went on to play in college.
Yes. So I was really sitting on the fence 8th grade. I didn't want to follow my brother to the all-boys school. I did not. I fought it.
It's always that.
Tooth and nail. I fought it with my mom, and she finally caved in, and I was going to go to the local public school. And then something turned the corner. I got invited to do a shadow day at the school my brother was there, and then I went to a game, and it just clicked a switch of this brotherhood that you get at an all-boys high school that I feel so much here. And it really it planted a seed in me about the importance of education and the important influence that teachers and coaches have. And so I was all in. I jumped on the table. I wanted to go there. It was Bellarmine, all boys Catholic high school.
That's right.
Yeah, up in the Bay Area. And then it really helped me build a foundation, because my grades actually improved from co-ed middle school to high school. My grades got better because I was dialed in sports. I was dialed in school, and then it led into going to a college.
Yeah, I mean, like originally my dad came here. He went to Saints. He was class of '98.
Great.
And originally, like, I was like so on the fence. Like, do I want to go? Like, I'd been with the same like 30 kids at my like small school. I went to Warren Walker.
Yeah.
And I'd been with like the same 30 kids. And it was like the same, like 15 girls, like same guys. And I would go to my sister's like football games, 'cause she goes to Cathedral. And I'd be like, I'd see like all these new girls. I'm like, oh, like is this like what's going on in high school? And my dad always said, like, I want you to be a Saints fan.
Yeah.
And he'd always say like yada yada brotherhood. I was like, all right, well, like, I'm just an 8th grader, like I don't like realize that. And so I'd go to these games, I'd go to like all the events, like see these new girls, and I told my mom, I was like, I think, Mom, I want to go to Cathedral. And she was like, I really want you to keep looking at Saints. Really want you to keep looking at Saints.
Yeah.
I'd never
Mama knows best.
I know, yeah. And I came here for a shadow day.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I don't need the girls. Like,
yeah.
And like, I remember we were down here. It was a Friday. Everyone's in t-shirts, jeans, hanging out.
Yeah,
it was like all the food.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could get around this.
Yeah,
like, but still, the girls thing was in my head.
Yeah.
And then I went to a Saints football game.
Okay.
And I wore my dad's old Letterman jacket.
Nice.
And And I remember like I see like all the OLP girls were there, like everyone see like there's like these girls like
Yeah.
they exist. And so then I was like, okay, like maybe I want to end up going to Saints, and then one thing led to another, and I'm so grateful.
Great. That's good. That's awesome to hear. Yeah.
Like, I don't like it's just it's
It
the
pays
best.
off. And then
Yeah.
lifetime wise, I'm still closer to my high school friends
Mm-hmm.
than I am anyone in college, just because the deep rooted friendship that
Yeah.
you build at an all boys school. And then, whereas a co-ed school, you got that whole social thing. You know, you're looking, you're just it just don't build those relationships. I'm convinced.
Yeah, there's nothing
Yeah.
that beats it. So and then you went on to coach at SDSU as well and San Jose State.
Yeah. No, I was very blessed. So when I finished playing at UCLA and I started working, actually, the head coach Terry Downey called me in the office to offer me a graduate assistant spot, so I could get my master's degree and help coach. And I did that for 2 years, and that was a really insightful position into what coaching entails. I mean, so many details, you know, at that. And such a time commitment, but I loved it. I had missed the locker room the couple years away from football, and getting back into the culture, the camaraderie, all that. And then I got a great break when Coach Donahue decided to retire, and Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator I worked for, became the head coach, and then he promoted me from a grad assistant, which is just like a student assistant, to a full-time position. I got a great break from him. I'm forever thankful for that. And then I was at UCLA, and just in quick summary, UCLA for 9 years overall, University of Kentucky for 4, which SEC football was really wild for a West Coast guy. I mean, you're playing Florida, Georgia, LSU, Alabama, Auburn every week. There's no break, and all the stadiums are packed. And then also living in the South was really pretty cool for our family. We enjoyed those 4 years. Then USD opened up, and when Jim Harbaugh went to Stanford, and I saw that, and I thought, you know, we always loved the beach and West Coast, our family, so I'll throw my name in the hat, and got an interview, and that I was there got that job, and great relationships from there, wonderful people. Was there 6 years, and that was non-scholarship football. Then San Jose opened up, San Jose State, and that was a great opportunity to go home and send my boys to my alma mater.
That's right.
Because they were all about to start high school. And so they went to Bellarmine, where I had went, and then I was there for 4 years, and then came back here, San Diego State. Coached there for a couple of years under Coach Rocky Long, and then I worked in administration at USD for a couple of years, and then I was just doing some ranching duties at home for the last couple of years, shoveling a manure during most of the day. No, there's a Zen saying, chop wood, carry water, you know. Mine shovel manure and collect eggs, you know, was kind of my motto. But fixing projects and things like that. But this came along, I saw, and I thought, what a great opportunity to work with young men. This is kind of my platform, coaching with what I've done career-wise, and so it's a whole new audience, if you will, working with the high school guys, and very, very much so. And I'm really enjoying it. They are attentive, they're hungry, they want to learn, and they're so respectful. And so I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to building something here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also want to comment that the way that you answered questions on the PPR thing, and Tommy and I both watched it. That was just very professional.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I like how you carry that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and the way that you're just like, I just don't really see this as all football. Like, I want them to grow as men and characters in life, be good people. I just really like that about
Yeah, no, I appreciate you
how
saying
you
that.
answer that. Yes.
Thank you.
And also, how did you know that you wanted to start in like farming and
Oh, yeah.
like all the cattle and stuff?
Great
That's
question.
just
Yeah.
really interesting
So I
to me.
grew up in Morgan Hill. We had an acre, and so we did have a couple horses when I was young.
Okay.
And I commuted 26 miles to my high school, so it was out of the area. But once I made the jump into school, into sports, probably middle school, the animals and things had to kind of get put on hold. Well, fast forward 35 years or so, and we buy a place in La Mesa that has a corral. And my wife and I have always been intrigued with homesteading. You know, that term is used where you can self-sustain. You have your own. So on our property, I mean, just from our little acre and a half, we get our eggs, we get our milk, we get our beef, and dairy. the best part, right? Of all that, we've made butter with it. And so it's pretty fun to do that. It's kind of like going back in time, what our ancestors did, when you don't just go to Vaughn's and buy it processed and you don't know what's in it, how that beef was treated or whatever. And I think that's pretty cool. Now it does take some time to do that, and it's not a moneymaker by no means, because buying hay and all that stuff does add up. But it really is rewarding in ways, and it probably is the best outlet for me. After a tough Friday night game, you go back and it just humbles you. You're, instead of chop wood, carry water, shovel manure and collect eggs and clean up the yard kind of thing and load the bins. And that's kind of, I think it's kind of my de-stressor, if you will. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
And one thing, watching Dr. Full.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people won't know that. It's like a Nat Geo show, but did you learn a lot of stuff?
Oh, I did. So as our cows were coming up to birth, we would watch it and kind of fast forward to the calving ones, and you see some they're really struggles to have a healthy birth or calf. And anyways, we learned a lot from that. It was really interesting show, but it was so nice that we didn't have to go through any of that drama. It just was. They just came out naturally, and now one of them, the dairy one, is calving again, because you can really interesting. You can only do the dairy element after a calving, and you could stretch that out, the milk, as long as you want. But it's healthy to give them a reset and stop for a couple months before. Another calf comes and you start it all over again. So we're kind of in that phase right now, in between, but anxious to get to that milk
amazing.
again.
I have 2 chicken.
Oh,
We got
great.
First we got them when they were super small.
Chicks.
Like chicks. They'd been out for like a week.
Yeah.
And they would get so nervous. They would peck their feathers out. Like we had like a heat lamp, like everything going. And like,
Mites, they could have mites, perhaps.
Yeah, they would get so anxious that they would peck their feathers out.
Okay.
And so then they totally grew up, and now those eggs are like the best.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and they're dark orange, huh? Yeah. No, it's really cool.
It's a lot of fun. It's good to eat. Like I feel like way healthier eating. Like those than like anything else.
Homegrown, what's in it. Oh yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more about the kind of like environment you're building, because you've taken a really cool approach on like building the coaching staff. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, no,
some of the guys you brought on.
I want to have guys around that kind of echo my beliefs and outlook. So I was really excited when Coach Matt Haniger was interested in coming down south, and I had long respect for Matt. We actually are the same age and competed against each other at rival high schools.
Where did he go?
Mitty, Archbishop Mitty in San Jose, and I was Bellarmine, and so we competed then, and but kept in touch in a way that I recruited over all the years. Mitty High School. I always had the Bay Area often when I was on various staffs, and so. Kept in touch with Matt and brought in several of his guys, and so really excited to be able to add him to the staff. And he's 30-some years Catholic education, having worked at Mitty, so he was a really good addition. And then I really love to be able to retain the freshman coach. I think that's so important in your program, that your freshmen come in and they have assistant. And Christian DeLuz does a great job. He wears so many hats for that freshman program, and it does a lot. So that really was a big help. And then being able to add some guys that I have respect for. Tony Isabella, coach at Coronado, varsity coach. He's coaching the JV.
Coach Ramirez from
Danny Ramirez. Well, that's a big part, is bringing Saintsmen who understand what Saints is all about. So Coach Olawa, who played here. Let's see, Coach Matt Gabbard, who I added at the start of the season, played here, played for me at USD.
Really?
Back in the day, and really guys who understand the culture here and what it's all about. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. And then just recently, excited to say, added Troy Polamalu.
I heard.
Who was just, I had the utmost respect for as a player.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
And you speak to Troy, and he's the most gentleman person, but he was the most violent football player. That's the irony of it. I mean, he played with a passion and a speed unknown, to most people, and then to be able to have him on staff coaching our guys is quite an honor.
Yeah, I see. Like Pi, his son, the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like such a just like sweet like nice guy to have around. So
Yeah.
it's gotta come from.
Oh
him.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, you know. So Pie's
that is so
Pie's
funny.
just like his dad. Yeah.
Yeah. To be a kid, like having Troy Polamalu like on the field,
Yeah.
or to be rival team,
Oh yeah, UCLA.
seeing
US.
Troy
Oh, yeah.
Polamalu
Yeah.
standing right there, like
Yeah.
I would be so scared. Like
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
What's he gonna coach?
He'll coach on
hang
the
around?
defensive side.
yeah,
Defensive
that's what I
side,
thought.
all across. Probably focus more on the back end, which we say secondary linebackers kind of
Yeah.
play. The front end would be more D linemen. But yeah, it just brings a lot of good understanding, but also good communicative skills.
I feel like he definitely have some knowledge to drop.
Oh,
very
for sure.
good, very
Yeah.
good tips.
Yeah, smart
Yeah.
player. Oh yeah.
I feel like that would be so like to see him coaching and like I feel like those dinners. I've always thought that's cool. Dinners like the pregame mass and dinner.
Yeah.
That was the Saints tradition before you.
Correct. Yeah, but it's interesting. Very similar to what we did at USD. We have a mass first, and then we go eat as a team with our pregame meal, and intermixed is good prayers and just team building, and then we do a walkthrough before we board the bus.
Yeah, that's
to go
here,
to,
yeah.
to go to the stadium. Right, we do that here, and that was very similar to USD.
I've always thought that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that to me, that's what I think brotherhood is.
Yeah.
Like going to the mass, having the dinner, like hanging out. Do the parents go? A few
No,
moms,
no,
maybe?
just the team. Yeah.
Just the team.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Rugby does something similar.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they have the
what
night
is it?
before. I think it's
The
like
night-
the Friday.
Yeah,
night.
they have a
The-
big dinner the night
the
before.
night before, yeah.
I was
And it's at
invited.
the family's
Yeah,
house.
I was invited to speak at
No
one.
way.
Yeah, it was really cool. It happened. Something got changed and we had to move it to schools, but it was here. But it was just the night before. Yeah.
There's so many Saints traditions like that, like
Yeah.
father-son brunch.
Yeah.
We got
Great.
to like plan that last year.
Love it. Great.
It was like
Family mass is coming up.
family mass,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sunday night.
All the
Awesome.
dads came in. We had like breakfast burritos going.
Nice.
and
Nice.
There was like we did like a little mass because Father Max was
He was in Italy. At the
yeah
time
he was
Okay.
at the time he was in
Okay.
he was in Italy.
First service.
Yeah.
And so like we kind of like formed the mass. He had already like pre-done the Eucharist, and we brought it out, and like that was such a cool
Awesome.
experience.
Yeah, amazing.
That's great.
Like
yeah.
having my dad there, he went here, like seeing like the new field.
Yeah.
He's super happy with like what Saints has become.
Great. That's good.
But yeah, it's been fun. We're happy to have you.
Well, thank you guys. It's been an
Yeah.
honor to be on your show. If I can
This
down
is
the road.
This is the first episode.
This is the inaugural one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, if I can ever be of help.